All right, guys, welcome to our
God.
segment Broken Cards in History. This episode, we're going to be talking about Magician of Faith, one of the most broken flip effect monsters at the dawn of Yu Gi Oh's competitive format, Goat Control.
Having replayed, getting into Yu-Gi-Oh, just kind of messing around with GOAT format, messing with the old format. Because I don't really follow any of the new cards, but we've been messing with this recently, and this bitch, we knew she was fucked up back then, but going back and just appreciating how fucked up she is.
Magician of Faith is in context of 2005. So we've been playing Goat Control again. And in context of 2005, she is actually a ridiculous flip effect monster because of how powerful the spells were back then. Just having Pot, Graceful, Nobleman Across Out, Metamorphosis, Delinquent Duo.
You can resolve power spells she can hit.
Yeah,
like if she hits Pot, power, Graceful,
power.
Delinquent, like you said, like you named all these spells already, but she hits some spells that are just power. Like if you're playing, like I don't know, you wouldn't play her in Warriors, but if for whatever reason you teched her in Warriors and got Rhoda, like
she's just really good. She was very, very good. A lot of people played 3 of her. The cool kids played 2, but a lot of people did play 3 Magician of Faith because if she resolved, it could literally be the end of the game just from her flipping. And then of course combining that with things like Tsukuyomi and Book of Moon and just abusing her even more. There was a point in time where people would start summoning Magician of Faith and setting Book of Moon because they didn't want to get crossed out. Oh man,
I remember.
There was a whole Magician. Think about that. Think about how ridiculous that is. Like Magician of Faith, you wanted her to flip that bad that you would be like, all right, I'm just going to summon and set, and you can't cross it out unless let's see what happens. But she's just a very ridiculous card, and she ended up getting banned. I think
she did.
For a while.
She got banned for a long time.
Yeah, Magician of Faith, I'm sure she's legal in 2021, but I feel like she did a bid in jail. Like she was on the ban list for a long time, I think.
Yeah, because just as time went on, like even though as Yu-Gi-Oh kept going on, setting monsters stopped happening. But I think even before current format, I think even in like 2010, 2011, 2012, like if she was legal, even at 1, I think people would have played her.
Yeah,
because like possible. you get that one power spell back, and
I definitely think so. 2010 plants actually did have some setting. There were points where people would play like Raikou, the light storm, the light storm
Raikou
dog
was popular for a while.
And then there was a point where people played like the hamster. Some people would set their Sangan, some people would set Dandelion and things like that. So there were some sets that were happening back then, and obviously recurring
getting Charge of the Light Brigade back.
Yeah, shit like that.
Could you imagine Charge of the Light Brigade with Magician of Faith? Like, come on now.
Some of the cards getting back are just absolutely ridiculous. So I could actually have seen her being played in some of the older formats. And when I say older, I mean like around the 2010 and prior time, not now. Like nothing about recent Yu-Gi-Oh. If you're setting monsters, if you set a monster in Yu-Gi-Oh right now, you die. Yeah, I think she is. Because if you set right now, you die. Like you can't set a monster and think you're going to get away with it.
Set pass is not a thing in 2020.
No, it's not. It's not very
2021.
Good. You're probably dead.
But in the context of where she came from, she changed the game. I remember she was a light monster. This was chaos.
Let's talk about all of the.
She's a light monster.
She's a light monster and she's a spellcaster. She has great typing and attribute.
Yep.
So her being a spellcaster is good. She's a 1-star for metamorphosis purposes, so she becomes Thousand Odds of Strict. She is light for BLS and Chaos Sorcerer. She's a spellcaster for Apprentice Magician. If they kill your Apprentice Magician, it can search Magician of Faith, and then that way you get an automatic flip on your turn because if they attack their Apprentice Magician face down, I assume they don't have Nobleman Across Out already, so they probably don't have it when you set Magician of Faith, and so that means the Magician of Faith is probably going to walk, aka resolve, and snowball. And this is one of the cards that really snowballs games. I won a lot of games.
You get your Pot of Greed back. You draw into your Metamorphosis. You make 1,000 Odds of Strict.
Just insane. Super good. I know people prioritize in like a Go format, but you have multiple sets in your hand because that is Go format. It's like Spy, Dekoichi, Magical Merchant, Magician of Faith, and all of that. People prioritize which one they want to set because the first monster you set will likely be hit by Nobleman or Cross Out. So a lot of people will set another flip effect monster before Magician of Faith and then set the Magician of Faith after because that's how powerful she is.
Yeah, I think that's like a good argument to play 3 Merchant and 2 Faith for the fact that you maybe want Merchant faster and earlier. First of all, you want Merchant earlier because you don't have there's a lower chance of you having a good spell to get back with Faith.
Yeah.
On turn 1.
Yeah.
And then also they have a higher chance of having Nobleman. And then so like you want them the Nobleman Merchant over Faith.
Or just anything really.
Yeah,
just,
like you don't want them the Nobleman your Faith.
If you can get to a point in the game where you start flipping Magician of Faiths and you start recurring things like Delinquent Duo, Pot of Greed, and Graceful Charity,
they can't win.
It's a really, really good chance that you're going to be the winner. Even getting back Heavy Storm, because that shit is not okay either.
Yeah, playing Heavy Storm, because after you see the first Heavy Storm happen, people are like, okay, I can set my cards now.
Yeah, that's just, it's so dangerous. After Heavy Storm's in the grave, people like set all their back row. They're like, oh, well, Heavy's gone. Then they go flip Magician of Faith and get it back. And it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, she changed. I mean, she got banned. She got banned
for a reason.
Some people, I think people newer into Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes look at old Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards and they don't realize what the formats were like. And so like, this card's whatever. But like she deserved to be banned at
it's been 16 years since the format where she was played in triplicate. And obviously a lot has changed. The game is not even remotely the same as it was 16 years ago. But this card was definitely deserving of our segment Broken Cards in History just because she is one of the most broken cards. And at one point, Flip Effect monsters were Yu-Gi-Oh! They were synonymous with Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. She's played in 2 most popular decks, Chaos and just Goat.
Yep.
And even Goat is kind of just a Chaos deck as well.
It really is. It plays BLS and usually at least a Chaos Sorcerer. So, I mean, it's really all... And it's managing its lights and darks and all of that. So, it definitely is... They're the same. Like, she has that extra utility in Goats because of Metamorphosis, but it's the same thing. Yeah.
The other thing is, her being a light is just really important because the consistent theme back then was always that it's hard to fit good light monsters in your deck. And she is an amazing monster that's also light. Like if she was dark, she'd still be good.
Yeah.
But she'd be played less.
Her being light is so important. Yeah. Yeah, dark monsters are in abundance in old Yu-Gi-Oh! And like Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a very dark heavy game. I think it still is. But obviously because the card pool is now like I don't know, 10,000 cards or something like that. Something crazy.
Well, think about this. In 2005, I just did the math on Dueling Book. If you sort by Goat format, there's like 20 pages. I forget how many cards on a page, but I just did the quick math. There's roughly 1,000 cards in Goat format.
Oh, wow.
And that's in 05. So like, there's more than 10,000 cards now for sure.
Yeah. So there's thousands and thousands of cards. And if you think about now, of course, there's good light monsters that have been released, like cracked light monsters. Some light monsters are absolutely crack. But back in 05, when the card pool was much smaller, there were many. There was Blade Knight, DD Warrior Lady, which her intention was to be removed, so she doesn't really count.
That's the thing. Some people would make the mistake of counting DD Warrior Lady as a light monster in their deck.
I'm like, what's going to happen to her?
She's never in your graveyard.
Yeah, like unless she gets Mirror Force, Sakuretsu, or Torrentials, I guess Ring of Destruction too. Unless she gets killed by a trap, she's not going to be in the graveyard.
She's not in your graveyard because her purpose is to banish.
Yeah,
that's why
and then you have like
deck.
Shining Angel with no targets.
Yeah.
So.
The other thing, you don't really want to search Faith. I mean, I guess unless you have Book Live,
if you have,
you don't want to search.
Me.
You don't want to search Faith with Shining Angel because she's in face-up attack mode.
Yeah. Yeah, she's amazing.
At the time, she put in a lot of work. She's a staple in many of the decks. If you go play Go format now, you're going to see her.
Yep. You're gonna always think, oh, is that Faith? And you're gonna look at their graveyard, you're gonna see Pot of Greed, you're gonna be like, God damn it. And the fear of Magician of Faith will literally make you act. So Magician of Faith will literally make you go, set my monster, play Metamorphosis, summon 1,000 odds of strict, suck up your face down, just so that you don't get that monster to flip. Just because you think it could be Magician of Faith and you see Pot of Greed in the graveyard, and you're like, I cannot let that get flipped.
Yeah, I go out of my way to try to like do certain destruction effects to kill Faith. Like if I see a face down monster and I look in their grave and I don't see Faith, like I'm going reinforcement for Exile Force. Yes, I'm gonna Roto for Mystic Swordsman or Roto for Mystic Swordsman level 2. I'm gonna go or Roto for Blade Knight if I don't have other monsters on the field. Yeah. Like I'm gonna go out of my way to kill that monster so it doesn't flip face up, because if it does and they get Delinquent Duo again,
yeah, it could just be game.
I'm fucked.
Yeah. Yep, it snowballs. So she's ridiculous. But yeah, this is do you have anything else to add, or I'm pretty?
No, I mean, I think we pretty much covered her. She is a broken card. She's a flip effect monster. She gets a spell back from your graveyard. She's a 1-star and a light monster. And all of these things combined, and a spellcaster. Being spellcaster is really important too. All of these things combined just make her an excellent monster for the time period, and a monster that stayed banned for, I want to say, like 5 years. 5-6 years, something.
She was
like that.
banned for a long ass time. I don't know the exact period. I lived through it, and obviously in my head it probably feels
maybe
a bit
even longer than that, because
that's what I'm thinking. I feel like
she wasn't legal in 010. She wasn't legal in 2010 or 11 or 12.
I don't think so.
Because I don't think she became legal until like maybe 2015, 16.
Because I can't imagine us setting monsters and not wanting to set Magician of Faith to get back things like Pot of Avarice, 1-for-1,
Pot of Duality,
Heavy Storm, shit like that. I can't. Like, I imagine that she would have been played if she was actually available in those 2010 whatever.
So she was
banned.
She might have been banned for a whole decade.
Yes, it's likely. And also BLS came back in 2010 plants. BLS is in those deck lists.
Blackluster Soldier has been legal more times than Faith, I think.
Yeah.
I think Faith has been banned more than Blackluster Soldier.
Yeah, well, she's definitely been banned longer for sure. Because I think he's at he's around right now. I think he's legal right now, and he's been legal in 2010. So at the very least, he has been legal more than she has. At the very least.
Yeah. So
just to put it into context.
Put respect on her name.
Yep. All right. Well, this is one of many Broken Cards in History segments by the IMNerd podcast. If you guys have any cards that you want us to talk about, please send them to imnerdpodcast@gmail.com and we'll discuss them. Let us know what you think. Thanks.